Hey guys, welcome to this live session. So I am now live on the Zenler community. This is an exclusive stream just for you, and it's gonna be a little bit this is what I'm thinking here. This is more than just, another workshop, another training. It's more of a kind of eye-opening session on how you should be thinking with the stuff that you're creating and as a course creator. But it doesn't just apply to that, it applies to so much more, as we're going to discuss. So it's not going to be a long session, it's more of an eye-opening session for you, hopefully to change the way that you think about lots of things that you do. Okay, so I'm just going to have a look in the chat. If you want to put in the chat, hi, welcome everybody. I've got a guest in today. Of course, guests can't comment, but if you're logged in, you can. I've got another guest. Again, guests can't comment. But if you're part of the community, if you hit the little join blue button, you can become part of the community and you can comment on these lives. Okay, so this is being streamed straight into our Zenler community here on the Zen platform. So we are going to be bringing out very soon this live streaming features to the masses, right? And the good thing about this live streaming is that, unlike Facebook, it doesn't disappear after 30 days. So it doesn't disappear off your feed after 30 days. The other great thing about it is that it saves it to the cloud. So while I'm live streaming now, afterwards, as the admin, I can go in and download my files and include the transcript and use those, which brings us on nicely to what we're talking about today. So what we're going to talk about today is called the circle of profit. Okay, so it's a term that I phrased a long time ago. I don't think it's used generally. Maybe it is now, I don't know. But I phrased this a long time ago, and it's all about how in life, whether you're a course creator, whatever you're doing, things can be done to create profit. And this might not be profit as far as monetary terms is concerned, but it could be profit in your time investment. Okay, so it could be profit in the way you lead your lifestyle. It could, so this is not just monetary terms. I'm going to talk monetary terms as well, but I'm going to give you a little scenario here. It's a good one, and it's true because this is what I did. Right, so I'm an artist, right? So I like to paint and these sort of things. Haven't done much of it in the last few years, but I like to paint. And I wanted to use an airbrush. So an airbrush is like a little, you can fill it with paint and you can spray basically under controlled situations. So with that, this is a hobby. But with that, I bought a compressor. Okay, and compressor was quite expensive for me because I was really young. But I got this compressor, and I had this mindset, right? Okay, so that's not why I bought it. I bought it to do the hobby. But then I was like thinking to myself, how can I make this compressor pay for itself? So back then it was like 150, 200 pounds, but that's a lot of money, right? How can I make it pay for itself? And so this brings us on to the circle of profit. So what I did is I started to do some commissions, started to get money from it. So I was using it for my hobby. That's why I bought it. And I started to do commissions. And then I started to do spraying, spraying lots of things, spraying cars, helping repair with cars, using the same compressor, motorbike parts, models. Okay, because I was working for a model making company. So I was taking that home and I was making thousands. So what I'm saying to you is that by thinking about something that you buy, can that help you? Can you convert that? Can you have the mindset to think, can I turn a profit from this? It might be something really expensive that you bought, and can you turn it into a profit? And that's not just where it stops, right? Because also let's look at things like, okay, so instead of getting a car and going to the shops, you're walking to the shops. So you might not think, well, what's the profit in that? The profit in that is maybe you're sitting at a computer all day, and this is a good chance for you to walk. Okay, it takes longer, but you're getting exercise. You're getting profit from the exercise that you've done, right? Do you get where I'm going with this? So you understand how it's kind of working. So that brings us on to how it can work for your business and what you can do. All this stuff I'm telling you now is like, this is how I've done it, right? So this works. It's not just something I'm kind of like just chatting mindlessly about. It actually works. So let's have a look. Let's go into this and let's have a look at this. Right. Okay. So there we go. The circle of profit. It's pretty nondescript. It's on its own. So let's choose a bit of a case study here. Let's have a look at something. Let's say, for instance, that I'm going to do a sculpture, like a 3D sculpture that I have got a commission for. Okay. So I've been commissioned to do this. So someone has commissioned me to do this, right? And I've got this. So I've got a 3D sculpture, £1,000. Now, you might think, great, £1,000, great. Okay, I can just do this, right? I can just do this and I can get the money from it. But what if we think of it as more than just doing a 3D sculpture for someone? Okay, so this is where it comes in. So first thing to do is to say, right, what are you supplying someone? So you're doing them a 3D sculpture. What else are you supplying them? What can I add on to this? Well, maybe I can add on a time lapse, right? You're doing the work anyway. Time lapse video. On the creation, right? Maybe that's an extra £100. Okay. So you say to the client, okay, yeah, absolutely great. You know, I can work on the designs. I can get this all clear. Do you want me to do a time lapse video how I actually create it? So you can see it forming. So you can have it as a video to show people. So they've got sculpture. You can have a video that shows the actual process of doing it. Yeah, great. Okay, so I've made 10% now on something that I'm going to do anyway. That is forming this profit. Okay, so you're plugging things in. So I'm going to go 1,000. I'm going to go plug on that time lapse. Okay, 100. So I'm now going to start to accumulate money coming into this. And this is this overlap period here. Okay, so you're doing the work anyway. It's being done anyway, right? That work's being done anyway. And this is our central goal. This is our circle. Okay, so that's what's happening anyway. And we're building into this. So guys, if you want to put in the chat, good to see you all. I'm not sure the chat's working. I can't see any comments coming in here. But if you want to say hello in the chat, it'd be fabulous. So I've got all guests in at the moment in here. So if you're logged in, are you able to view this? So I'm going to see this afterwards, but you'll see the video anyway, so it's not too much of a thing. I'm also doing this video because I want to just feed back to development team how well this live stream is working for me. At the moment, I'm just getting guests coming. I'm sure you guys are watching. So anyway, so get that idea. So you've got profit. You've now added something on. So you want a time-lapse video with this. So this is the way. And also, like if you're an artist, like Karen, for instance, our artist, right, on Zenler, part of the Accelerator program, she's doing a piece of artwork. Maybe she should say to the client, do you want me to do a video on me actually drawing it out? Okay, so that's just her option. This is mine. I was a 3D sculpture. I do 3D animation work and that sort of stuff. So this forms perfectly with what I'm doing. So where do we move on from here? Now, maybe, just maybe, we turn around and we ask the client, can I turn this into a training course, right? So maybe you ask them and maybe they say yes. Maybe they say, well, I'm not sure, it's kind of private. That's fair enough, you've lost that profit. But some of them will say yes. And if you're giving them incentive, if you say, right, well, I'm going to turn it into a training course, what I'll do is I'll give you the time-lapse video for free, right? So you might not have to give it for free, but if it's going that way, you could do that. What does it mean now? It means now I have this going on. I've got a course. And say we're selling that course for, I don't know, depending on how big the sculpture is, let's just say like 250, right? So it's a one-off on-demand course, $250, right? So now I've gone from 1,000 here right up to 1,350. And what is my time, extra time investment in this? Not very much, because I'm producing the time-lapse video. So I can break it away and I can narrate it if I want to and turn that directly into a course. So this is how it can work for you. This is how these things can work for you and the way that you can make this system work. So let's now look at a time value situation. So you create, let's say you create a video. So here we go. This is all about reusing. So we're going to go, I'm going to create a video anyway, right? So I'm going to create this video here, and it doesn't really matter what it's on, your topic. Okay. Say that video takes you 2 hours. So that's how people would leave it. They create a video, they put it on their YouTube channel, okay? Boom. Of course, they're going to going to their course, you know, they're going to put their course on here. So that's what they're trying to do at the end of the day. Yeah. Trying to go to that course. But if you do the video in the right way, out of the content can come socials. So this is where planning comes in. So it's like if I'm doing a video on the circle of profit, what I might start off with is take my course on the circle of profit. It can generate you money. It can free up more time in your life. And I've got a fantastic course. End the video. Don't end the video there. You're still doing the video. Then you'd start to talk about the circle of profit, not giving the whole transformation. And then you can break that away or break parts up and create multiple socials, you know, instead of just doing your socials one at a time, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, you know. Then you find that in here, because you've broken it away, that you can put these together in 15 minutes, right? Or less. So you're saving on those 2 socials there, you're saving an hour and a half already just on these 2 socials. Yeah. So this is a really good way of thinking about it. Now, that doesn't end there. So everything's kind of connecting together here. This is part of this, right? It's intersecting. These parts you can use. But let's take this again where it intersects and say, let's take the transcript here, and let's make a blog from the transcript. And using AI and then editing it, we can create a blog, which again links to the course. Take the video that you've done in here and put it into the blog as well. So now you're getting these socials coming in from all these different things from this central point that you've created, saving you tons of money, meaning you'll have a whole system all built together. So you're going to have from one video that you've created, you're going to have out of that, you're going to have a blog, you're going to have socials, and all of those things, and probably more. What else could we do with it? You know, there's probably other things we could do with it as well. But these are main things. So you're saving loads of time. So that's the time factor that you're going to be saving from this. And of course, all of these things are going to be going to what is in the center of our circle, right? Although these all cross over in here, we're driving everybody to, it might be a lead magnet. It might not even be a course, right? It might be a lead magnet to get people in as leads, right? To build your email list. So that's what that might be centered for. So if we go back a step and we say, right, okay, actually, the lead magnet could be part of this. So I've got this video on YouTube, right? So this is where you can really start to develop these things. So I'm going to use the same video here, and I'm going to put it in as a lead generator. Right? So same video, no more extra content. You just create a lead magnet on Zenler, right? You got all these things. And all of these point at that center. So you've always got to have a center. The circle of profit is that center is what you're selling. So let's go course here. So all of these have got links to this next step where people go into here. Whatever you're doing is all going to go into here. Yeah. Forming this circles of profit or circle of profit. So generally what I do is I overlap stuff because it's one circle. So there's just things that are crossing this. And in some cases, there might be things that are crossing into this. So you're doing something here and it crosses into this area, but it's all basically to push everything towards that middle funnel. So whatever you're doing, that's what you're trying to do. And that's your prize. That's what you're trying to get. Okay. So whatever you're trying to do, that's what's going to happen with that. So that is how it works. Right. So whenever you're thinking of something, whenever you're doing something, whether it be for your work or anything else, think like how, I mean, don't think everything, don't buy a phone and go, well, how it's going to help me. But even a phone, like everything you buy can be monetized in some way. And I think that's what you need to think about it. You need to look at this phone and go, right, well, what can I do? How is this going to monetize me? Great. It's going to make my life easier because it's going to be quicker to produce things. It's going to be quicker to do. So that's going to save me time, which is part of the circle of profit. But also not only that, I can record my videos and I can post them straight on my socials. That's going to save me time. I can also share those socials or put a series of those socials together that I've done. If they're tips, like 10 top tips, I can turn it into a lead magnet. But what is my focus? And that's what we're talking about here. Your focus. You'll obviously have people saying things like targets. So this is like a target. So what is that focus? So whatever you're buying, you're always thinking about sending people into that circle of profit. Yeah. So whatever you're doing, whatever you're buying, how will that down the road monetize things for me? How will that make a solution for what I'm trying to achieve here? So you're trying to push people into this circle and into this central area, which is the key, right? Into that area. So whether you're doing a video, whether you're doing a blog, you know, whether you're doing landing page content, yeah, in there, whether you're producing a commission for someone, you know, I think the commission one that I said at the beginning, it kind of sums everything up. you're doing something, especially things that are really time intensive, right? Stuff that's really time intensive, you should definitely think about monetizing it. So that is the subject for today. I hope that's going to help you. I hope it's going to change your mindset on how you see and how you work with everything you're doing for your business, all of these things. Reusing content is another classic one where you create these lovely course cards and then you just use them for your course. Why? You know, you've spent that time doing that stuff. Why are you just using it for your course? Why are you not turning that into lots of different things like social? So if we come back to the model again to have a look at inside here, so you've got a course. So you've got a course and you've created a course card. So you've got a course card, right? Here. And it's a lovely course card, you know, it's beautifully done. It's got lovely things going on in there. And that's it. So some people just go, well, okay, I'll upload that, put it on the course card. But it's more than that, because you could take that course card. You can, from the course itself, you can create blogs. This is kind of the wrong way round in a way. So you could create a blog, which again send people back to there. But you can use the graphics in this to have the course card for the blog, adjust it slightly. You could also use that same course card for maybe the video front slide. Okay, so you could use it for that as well. So again, you're saving time, you're reusing the media that you've got. Then the next job that comes along, so let's just say that job's finished, right? The next job that comes along, don't create a course card from scratch, just clone this one and then just adapt it, change it. That way you're also keeping things more consistent because your colors are probably in this one and this one, and then repeat that process for this. Yeah, so this is a time saving profit. Okay, so this is how you should be thinking with this stuff. I know, and you probably, some of you go, well, kind of I know that anyway, or I know that, but I tell you, there's so many people that just recreate things that they've kind of already got. And it's such, I don't know how much time, I don't know the stats on how much time people waste of their life by not reusing the content they've got, or even the structure. So if you've got a content and you've got a page on your website, people will start with a brand new page and they'll reset it all up. And it won't be the same as the other page. So there won't be consistency between the two. Maybe they've rushed that second page, when what they could have done was clone the one that they just did, that they spent ages on, and they can just keep that structure, change the text out. Saves a ton of time, you know. And I'm talking probably over a year. I reckon most course creators probably lose at least maybe 3 months right, through having to redo. And there's probably more. It's probably a lot more than that, because lots of people get onto the fresh new thing and they're kind of like, right, I'm going to start from scratch. And that's good. We should be doing that. But as a base, you should be trying to make things better than you did before. So if you've done something 3 months ago and you go, well, I can do a lot better this time. I know I can. If I create the course and the course structure and the sales page, I can do a lot better. But don't just start from fresh. If you know that what you did before you can do better, clone it, go in there, make it better. Make it better. And if there's any big changes, reflect those across into the older site and see if the conversions go up. This will save you a lot of time. So in speed saving techniques and things like this, you'll see me, I clone blocks all the time, change the text out, keeps the formatting the same. I don't have to think about putting into the font the correct point size, all of these things. I don't have to touch that. Colors, I don't need to touch them, because I've got a clone, or I've got something that I've already built that works, right? So, and that goes for, in Zenler, it's all over the place, isn't it? You've got cloning marketing funnels, you've got cloning lives, right? So lives is another massive one where people always start from scratch rather than clone the live and then they've got the page content. They just go through the pages, all the pages, change the text out, but it's super quick. It's much quicker than starting from scratch. So these are things that we should be looking at for sure when we're doing this stuff. So guys, I hope you've loved this session. I'm going to check the chat afterwards. There are pending posts going on, right? There are pending posts in there. I'm going to check them. I approved them before I came on with this live stream because I want this live stream at the top so you guys can see it. This is all about the circle of profit and how it can really, really speed things up for you. So guys, thank you for joining me today. I will look at the comments inside the chat after I finish the live, but that circle of profit. So tell me, has that helped you? Does that kind of make sense to you, what I'm talking about? Can you find situations, and this doesn't have to be with work, right, with your Zenler site, can you find situations where this kind of thinking could have helped you, right? Even the, going walking, thinking, right, the walk itself will be my exercise, get my shopping, I take it back, and that's part of that process as well. So all of these little things, and maybe come up with something yourself, right? So I mean, classic case, like if you read a book, a book and you had something to say about it and it was on your subject, you can start talking about that because you've read a book on it and you've got stuff to share. And I think teaching it is about stuff to share, right? So if you have an idea, if you try something out, you should always test it, not use your students as guinea pigs. It should be a tried method of what you're doing. And that's why this particular live was really important for me, because I wanted to talk about this, because this is how I work in my life. I look at opportunities and ways to speed up efficiency. And we had it in the last live that we ran. And I have this mentioned a few times, I wish I could go as fast as you, David. You're doing this stuff super quick and all these things. And the reason why is because, one, I know the software inside out. One, and I'm sorry guys, like, you're probably not going to get as fast as me unless you've been doing this stuff for like 3 decades, right? That's for one thing. So there's a ton of experience behind it. Using different software, like Zenler is really super easy for me, super easy, because I use very complex software that would just make you cringe if you looked at it, right? So that's one thing. But the other side of it is the getting to understand the platform, which I can understand things very quickly because of the experience, and so can you can learn it. And this will then help you with speed. So straight off the bat, if someone asks me a question, where is this in the site? Without even looking inside the platform itself, I know where that is. So I can just feed it back straight away. You're going to be like, have to have a look, and it's going to slow the whole process down. So when I'm ultra efficient, it's because I'm using these techniques, right? I'm cloning pages, I'm reusing blocks, I'm copying code, I know what my colors are, I know what my fonts are, I know what works in the system and what doesn't work in the system. So I can be very efficient at what I'm doing, rather than put a block here, oh, the size is just out a little bit, I'll change the size, spend 5 minutes just changing the size or the column rows, and until, oh, that looks good, and then they check it on mobile and it looks terrible. Right. So this is understanding those things. It is a process, but where you are in your journey is not where you will be in a month's time. You'll be in a completely different place, and you already are. Like you guys that have come through the accelerator programs, it's day and night. There's the difference is probably day and night between when you first started and where you ended up and where you are now. And I can see that, me and Kevin can see that, because some of the questions that you're asking are quite technical now, and we love that. And we brought out the Accelerator Plus and we really pushed the gas in there, and you guys are still keeping up. So you wouldn't have done that at the beginning. for sure. I mean, I look at Declan. Declan's a great one for me because he puts his hand up, so that I don't know anything about marketing, any of this stuff, and I see the stuff, the questions he's asking and things. It really makes me proud because he's come so far with this stuff, and I really, really love that. Love looking at the sites. I love you guys interacting with each other, looking at each other's sites and going, well, that looks really nice. I'm going to try and emulate that. And learning on your own now, and for us it's really important that you're able to think like this. So I think you're ready for this kind of mindset of the circle of profit, and that's why I wanted to bring it to you today, so you can sort of see the processes that I go through as a creator myself, and generally in life this applies to so many different things. Okay, so not that everything you do, you know, sometimes there's guilty pleasures. You buy something because you just want it for yourself. You don't want to share it, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. That's good for you. But with other things, you might find that you have stuff that you could monetize already. And we get it a lot with people saying, well, I've got a ton of content on YouTube, but I want to start this new business and I want to start from scratch. That's a lot of work. If you've already produced a ton of stuff, can you reuse it? Can you just update it a bit and make it more relevant, you know? So these are all things that you should be thinking, that because they're all massively time savers. And one thing is, money's good, right? Okay, money's good. Sure, you all want money, yeah? Put your hands up, yeah, you all want money, that's absolutely fine. But what's the one thing that you can't buy, that money can never buy? That's time, your time. So it's something that a billionaire, if he was lying on his deathbed, would give you all of his money to have an extra hour of time. And that kind of sums it up. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get you so efficient and quick at doing this stuff that we're actually saving your life, or we're giving you more life. And that to me is kind of the epicenter of what we're trying to do here. So money's great. You need money to live and survive. But if we can save you time along the way, then that's good for you, because you're spending your time laying on a beach, you're going for a swim, or doing whatever you want to do outside of your businesses. But if you try and take this approach, I think it will be really helpful for you. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Let me know if this was a good one, if you liked it. I've done stuff on the circle of profit before, but this is quite an involved one. I wanted to go outside of just profit, how it could help you in your sort of everyday life as well. So guys, take care, and I'll see you soon.